Co-president with Jody King. She'll be up here in a minute. United Methodist Women is comprised of two circles, one that meets on the first Monday of each month in the evening, and a second one, the Tuesday morning circle, which meets, as you might imagine, on the second Tuesday of the month. And we do programs about spiritual growth and different missions that UMW is a part of. We also have three mission and study groups. Our Hooks and Needles is a crochet and knitting group. Right now they're doing baby blankets for an organization. We've also done hats for the schools and for the veterans and for cancer patients. Our card ministry creates cards and favors for the 4 nursing homes in Lockhart and delivers those on an almost monthly basis and certainly on holidays. And we'll begin a new Bible study in September on Romans. All these opportunities are included in our brochure, but of course there's a caveat. In the summer we kind of sit back a little. So before you show up, call the person who's associated with that organization and be sure we're meeting during the summer. You are certainly invited to be part of the First United Methodist Church in Lockhart, but you do not have to be a member to be included in the different kinds of things that UMW does. So if you're interested in any of these study groups or craft groups, there's a place to sign up so that we can keep in touch with you and be sure that you're in the right place at the right time. So put your name and your email if you're interested in being part of that. Every year, our United Methodist Women select members and friends who have given a great deal to First United Methodist Church. And for 2021, Darla was our president, and she's going to make those presentations to the people who are receiving pins this morning. This is Darla Donna.
It's a pleasure to be here this morning to present these pins. We do this every year for women who have made a significant impact, not just in the United Methodist Women, but also in our church. And some of the recipients are members of UMW and some are not. And I think we've got 2 of the recipients here today. The first one is Diane Stevenson, who is our current secretary of the United Methodist Women. So obviously she's a member of the United Methodist Women. Very active, and she's very active across the city as well. Many of you probably know her from other organizations in which she's involved. And Diane, it's my pleasure give you a pen, if I can get this on. Check there tomorrow. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Is our next recipient. Methodist Women, but we all think she is because she's everywhere. She's involved with the food pantry. She's involved in the card ministry that the UMW sponsors. She's there every week, every month when we're doing the card ministry. She ushers in church. You name it, Jeannie does it. And Jeannie, we're thrilled to give you a United Methodist women's pin. And along with these pins, a donation is made in their name, each recipient's name, to the United Methodist Women for their mission work around the world. Recipient. We'll make sure she gets it. Tanya has led our youth for several years through COVID single-handedly, virtually single-handedly for a while, and she's outstanding. She has 2 young sons, and she's very busy. We'll make sure she gets this, and I hope you all will wear your pins with pride.
Darla and Jane were wonderful presidents for 2 years. Kathy, Bellamy, and I have big shoes to fill. After 2 years of COVID, I think we know how to value friendships and relationships, and that's why we're calling this our Friendship Coffee. We're going to have another opportunity this year to solidify the sisterhood of Christian women. And that is August the 28th. We're planning an ice cream social that we hope other churches and other people will be partners with us as we come together once again to strengthen our Christian community. But today, our very special guest speakers are Pepper Wilson and Kim Kay. Now, they have produced a podcast for 18 months. They call an Extra Shot of Leadership. You have brochures about that on the table. And if you haven't listened to them, do find that on your smartphone for all kinds of tips on being a leader. Now, Pepper was born and raised in San Antonio. She attended UTSA, where she received a degree in psychology. Then she went to the University of Michigan for a master's in organizational psychology. Michigan was so cold, and the winters were so long, that she chose to come back to Texas, where she could enjoy the warm, sunny summers. With the full Pepper and her husband are the proud parents of Phoenix, 13, and a son, Rockwell, 11. With a full-time job, a husband and family, and producing the podcast, spare time is spare. If she had some special hours to spare, she would make her way to the backyard and work in the garden with her mom. Her mom had always worked in the garden, and now Pepper is learning how relaxing it is to create a garden and watch it grow. And today her mom is here, Lydia Dixon. Welcome. Now, Kim is the other partner in this podcast. When she was about a girl, driving in the car with her dad, who worked in the oil field, they saw a huge lighted oil refinery. And she said, someday I'm going to work in one of those. Amazing. But after a degree from Texas A&M University and a few years of experiencing life, she did go to work in a refinery for Valero in Dumas, Texas. as safety and training engineer. She was so successful that Valero moved her to San Antonio to their headquarters on their training staff. She lives in Dallas with her husband, Tom, and she commutes between the two cities. Today, her mother is with us, Carolyn Edmondson, from Sabine, and her sister Jacqueline Sproul from Denton, as well as numerous aunts and cousins that have come here. So, please help me welcome Kim and Pepper.
Hello, Kimberly.
Hey, Pepper.
What are you doing over there?
Man, I'm so excited.
What are you excited about?
It's just an exciting opportunity for us. It's something that we really wanted to do. We have this podcast, and we wanted to expand it. We wanted to get out in front of people. And Jody King calls and says, "Hey, would you come and speak?" And so I'm just so excited that we have this opportunity to sit in front of you today, because it sure is it's just a goal of ours. And so here we are meeting that goal. How do you love that? But let me tell you, so this morning I got up, and I'm telling you, I was a hot mess. I went to bed late, I got up late, I was disheveled. When I walked through the door, I was just like, what a mess. But with an introduction like that, I'm feeling pretty good.
I don't know. Is Kim going to let me talk today? I'm teasing. But I am excited too. And the thing I want to start off with, or we both want to start off with, is to thank all of the ladies who made today happen. It is incredible. From the invitations, we saw those beautiful invitations that went out, to the linens, the centerpieces, the food, this beautiful flower centerpiece on the table. Everything is just lovely. Kathy greeting us out of the door. The whole thing, soup to nuts, beginning to end, fabulous. So all of those of you who participated and helped out, we want to say thank you.
Yeah. And the turnout is fabulous. We're getting out of COVID. We're ready to get back in the community. We're ready to connect with people. And so what a great turnout. Congratulations to yourself for getting up and getting out today.
All right, so it is a little bit special. We are excited about having this conversation, and I want to start off with why we're so excited. Part of it is it's a goal. Absolutely. This is something that we've wanted to do in this year. This is our second year with our podcast. But the other thing is very unique about this weekend is 2 years ago tomorrow, it was Mother's Day 2 years ago,
That's right.
that we came up with this idea. So I think back, I know where I was on my back patio, I was rocking in my rocking chair, and somebody sent me another podcast. They sent me something to listen to. And this person said, "Hey, I really think you need to listen to this, because I think this might be something you want to think about." And so I sat and I listened to the episode, and it was all about just creating more opportunities for yourself. And they called it the side hustle. And they said, don't quit your day job, but think about something else you could do with your talents. And I remember listening to that episode thinking, whoa, this is incredible. And I sat in that chair, picked up my phone, and I texted somebody right away. And that somebody was Kim K.
That was me. And it was such a great text, because believe it or not, this is how God works. I am sitting up in a chair that my sister created this little place for me where I can go and do my Bible study in our home. And I was sitting up there, I finished my Bible study, and I was just on my phone, just looking through the internet. And this thing about having a podcast had been on my mind. And I was in the middle of Googling how to start a podcast when she is texting me like, "Hey, listen to this." And so it was just a really special moment that I was like, yes, and you listen to this. This is what we can do this. We had no idea how to start a podcast. But it was just a really special moment that the two of us could come together at the very same moment with the same thing in our mind, and here we are 2 years later.
2 years later.
Yeah.
So, congratulations and happy anniversary.
Yeah.
So thank you all, because I will say, when Kim and I were preparing for this, it was, gosh, we're always going to remember our 2nd year anniversary, because it wasn't just her and I celebrating, but we were celebrating with all of you. So thank you for making our 2nd year anniversary so special, truly, and having us today. So Kimberly, what are we talking about today?
All right, so on our podcast, we always pick a topic, and we go through and give like simple, practical tips and ideas about that topic. And today, when Jody Key called and said, hey, I have this idea and I want to get everybody back in the community, back connecting and back working with each other. And so I thought, all right, how about we talk about how to refresh and revive? How to refresh our own minds, how do we refresh our own bodies, and how do we not just revive our own lives, but how do we revive communities and get people back together, get people back out and working together to do the things that we do as women so well in getting a community just thriving, right? And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We've got 5 simple tips.
Man, and I love that already, right? So this is a little bit of our podcast format. And one of the things that she already said was, man, that was great. And it's how important women are in creating the community. And when we sat here and we saw the pinning of these ladies, it's just so inspiring to see all of the good work, all of the good deeds that continue from each and every one of you, driving and building the community in the way that you do. But as we go on, so what's the difference between burnout and refresh? Because you said refresh. What does that mean?
You always throw a question at me. I'm like, I'm not ready for that. I wasn't prepared for that. But for me, burnout is when we're on that hamster wheel, or we feel like we're in a rut. We feel just not in a happy place. We feel like there's just something off. Versus when we're thriving, when we're refreshed, when we're feeling good, we're in a happy moment. We're not able to just look for how are we fixing ourselves, but we're able to give out. We're able to put out something positive to help other people, to connect with other people. And for me, that's where the difference between that, when we're in the ditch, when we're in a rut, when we're in burnout versus when we feel revived.
So this isn't about burnout. This is about a refresh. And when I think about refresh and the conversation that we've already started here this morning with Kathy and with Jody, hey look, we've been in COVID. This hasn't happened in 2 years. It is unbelievable to think it has been 2 years since this group has come together and met and talked and said, hi, how are you? What's going on in your world? And perhaps it looked differently. Maybe it was one-on-one, but it was never like this. And our first recommendation or tip for a refresh is exactly what you're doing here. On that card, number 1 says, get connected. And we are all about connecting. And not just Kim and I. When I think about getting connected, I think we are social beings. I immediately think about how God has created us and how He wants us to each connect and talk and support and encourage. And that's the whole point of today. And this first tip, getting connected. I know Kim's got more to say, I got more to say, but we'll go back to you.
Yeah, well, I was just reading up on getting connected and what does it do for the body. And I came across this study, it's a Mayo Clinic study, that talks about all the benefits of connecting with other family members, connecting with friends, connecting with a women's group. And I wrote some of those down. It increases your sense of belonging. It increases your happiness. It decreases your stress. It helps you cope with trauma. It helps you cope with troubles. And in the end, the last one was, you have fewer health problems. Who wants fewer health problems, right? Yes, everybody. We want fewer health problems. Getting connected, the study actually shows that as you connect with other people, that your health actually improves. It's almost as good as going for a walk, is what was one of the things that was in the study.
You know, and on the drive here, my mom and I and Phoenix, my daughter, were talking just about COVID, and I was listening to my mom talk a little bit about, you know, it started in March, and then April, and then May, and then all of a sudden the calendar is, literally the months are just flying by, and it's so much isolation. It's a lot of being alone, and that's not what we need, right? We need this connection, getting to see other people. And the one thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is what is connection, right? So Kim's given us the benefits, which are powerful, better health, who doesn't want that? But when I think of connection, I want to connect with Kimberly. I want to look in Kimberly's eyes. I want to see her, and I want to talk to her. I want to see her facial expressions. This is past that piece of connecting through Facebook or Instagram or the phone. We rely so much on those things. I think my generation, many of our younger children, I think of my own children, where the phone is the connection, and that's not what it's about. It really is about this piece of even the touch, right? It's the hand on the shoulder. I see you, I hear you, I want to connect with you. Anything else you got on that one? I know we're going to do something.
I want to do something.
I know you want to do
something. So how many of you are sitting at a table with someone you don't know? All right, a few. And some of you are sitting at a table with people you do know. You may be family, all right? Great. So what we want to do is give you just a 1 minute apiece to connect with someone else. And so what we'd like for you to do is at your table, we want you to take 1 minute, introduce yourself. If y'all are already past that, you can skip that step. And then talk about how you got here today. Did someone invite you? Did someone encourage you to come? Did you see a flyer? Did you get an invitation by email? How did you get here today? And then lastly, just one thing of what's on your mind. What have you been thinking about lately? What's coming up for you? Maybe you have somebody that's in your family getting ready to graduate, a grandkid or a kid. Or maybe you've been, I don't know, on a job search. Maybe you are getting ready for vacation. What's on your mind? Everybody, 1 minute around the table. Somebody, go.
We'll bring you back in about 5 minutes. Strong leadership. So, our question for you is, how'd that feel? Anybody? How'd it feel? Feel good? I got a thumbs up. I got a clap. So, we're feeling a little bit better than we were 8 minutes ago. Just a little lift. That quick, how's it going? Here's how I got here. All right, so most unique, here's how you got here. Who's that? Most unique, here's how you got here. Somebody brought me, I want to hear anybody. I got it in the mail. I found it in the parking lot, the invitation. I picked it up and I came. Oh, that would be my mother. She got the invitation, and the first question was, what time do I have to get up?
She got up and she's here. Yeah.
Yes, she is. All right, so anything else on that little connection?
No, that's just the power of connection. Right there, that is the power of connection. But I think we got to get moving. We've got to get on to our number 2 tip. And our number 2 tip is seek quality information. To feel refreshed, to feel revived, seek out quality information. We've all heard the adage, garbage in, garbage out, right? And so seeking quality information is, where is the information that's coming into your mind? Where is it coming from? Is it coming from social media? Is it coming from the radio? From the news station? We all know what's on the news these days. But I just want to tell a little story with this one, so I think it'll hit the point. So about a week and a half ago, I was cleaning my closet, taking out the spring items, bringing in the winter, or taking out the winter items and bringing in the spring items. And I had the radio on. And I'm a country girl. I like country music. So I had my country station on, and I was bebopping to that, and there was this catchy little tune. And I found myself singing that tune later that afternoon. I found that tune in my head later that night. The next morning, I get up and I'm singing this tune. It's really catchy. However, it wasn't the best of words. And so it was really all about your husband kind of cheating on you. And so I come out of the bathroom and I'm headed into the living room, and there's my husband in his easy chair, and I just give him the stink eye. Just look over at him, and he was like, well, what's that for? What did I do to deserve that? And so I sang him a few words of this little tune that was in my head, and he's like, you have a problem. And so we laughed about it, we talked about it, and we were talking about information that goes into your brain and how it can be something as simple or as little as a country song. And he says, if you keep that up, you're going to be at the bottom of the bottle for the rest of your life. And so, anyway, it just really stuck with me about what information I'm putting in. And so my number 1 tip for when I catch myself in those moments, and I know that I've had things going in that are not so positive and not so great, is Way FM. If you've never listened to Way FM, it is a great Christian radio station, uplifting, upbeat. You put that on and sing that tune for the rest of the day, and you'll be in a much better place, a much more positive place.
But I think you have a point here, and it really is around habitual things we do. And do we stop to think about, what am I paying attention to? What am I listening to? And as a mom, so I've got 2 kids, and one's here today, I am driving down the road and I might have some music on, and I do sit back and think about, what is the message in this song? What is she or he taking away? And is this possibly garbage in, garbage out? Is there something else I could expose them to? I was at a church sermon with my mom, it's been a couple weeks ago, and the pastor was specifically talking about this, and it's be mindful of who we seek knowledge from, because we're constantly looking for information for whatever reason, and perhaps it's news information or it's just new information to us. Where is that knowledge coming from? And who are we consistently seeking? And when I think about that, it really does make me think, is it about eternal life? or is it about things that are happening on this earth? And for me personally, I have a habitual habit. I wake up in the morning and I pick up my phone and I go immediately to whatever latest news is on the phone. And after my 30 minutes, I do walk away and go, really? Really, that's how you're going to start your day? You've let 30 minutes go on earthly things. And could that be something different? And when I think about this, it really does come back to, is that stuff making me feel better? When I listen to it, when I read it, when I watch it, do I walk away going, man, I'm a better person after that? Or I feel so much better after hearing or seeing or listening to that? 9 times out of 10, it's no. So number 2, to refresh, seek meaningful, quality, good information.
I've got nothing to add to that.
That's pretty good.
That was really good. Yeah, really good.
So let's move on to number 3. And it really is, it's a transition there. 2 to 3, what I take in, it's gonna eventually come out. And it's gonna come out in the words that I use and the focus that I have. So if I'm constantly listening to or watching things that are, this is bad, this is not good, life is terrible, whatever it is that we are paying attention to, it eventually comes out. I think about, for whatever reason, I think about an orange, being an orange. And when you squeeze an orange, the stuff that's inside comes out. And it's kind of the same for me. If I'm filled with that stuff, and when I'm having my bad day, which I have sometimes often, and I get squeezed, all that bad stuff starts to come out. And I'd much rather be in a position where I can look at myself in the mirror, or I can talk to myself, or I can look at Kimberly and I can encourage her and say, you are going to knock it out today.
We had to do a little of that this morning.
We did.
Yeah, speaking positively for me, it's just one of those things that maybe I'm a weirdo, but I like studies. I like information that's factual. And one of the things I learned back when we were on a podcast in another episode was that your brain recognizes your voice more than anyone else's. It hears it all the time. And it doesn't even have to be audible. Your brain takes in what you're speaking, even if it's just internal. And not only does it take it in, but it responds to your voice, and it responds to the words. And I just found that really, really interesting. So I just want you to think about when you're starting your day in the morning and what you're saying to yourself, right? If we're going to talk about being refreshed and revived ourselves so that we can go and refresh and revive others, how are you speaking to yourself when you get up in the morning? Do you go look in the mirror and go, oh, girl, those thighs? Or, oh, look at that stomach? Or, oh, you're putting on your makeup in your big makeup mirror and you're like, look at those wrinkles. No, man, don't do that. You've got to speak positively to yourself, right? And so one of the things I heard not too long ago was, don't say anything to yourself that you wouldn't say to someone else. And so your girlfriend's going to walk through your front door and you're going to go, girl, those thighs. No. Or, oh, man, you better look in the mirror, those wrinkles. No, you're not going to do that. You're going to find the most positive thing about them and, oh, what a beautiful top. Or, oh, how lovely you look today. That is what we need to do for ourselves in the morning, all day long. Speak positively to yourself so that you can go and give back some positive to other people.
And I think, I love that. I mean, come on. I love hearing that point of speaking positively to ourselves in the morning, starting out our day with that, ooh, wait, you look good. Whatever it is. I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I'm beautiful, whatever it is that you're going to speak to yourself, because what happens next? What happens next? I'm going to talk positively to myself. I'm likely going to talk positively to others, right? So the thing I would ask is, by show of hands, how many of you like to be in the company of negative people? Me.
Debbie Downer, the gray cloud.
The gray cloud is coming. The cloud is coming, and most people you see is kind of, they repel, right? They leave. So again, what is it that we are spreading in our communities, in our families? What's the message that we share day in and day out, and being very intentional, starting with ourselves, so that then that oozes out into the rest of our community, our family, our friends, whoever we're engaging for that day.
Yeah, have you ever heard that quote, the words you speak is the house you live in? The words you speak is the house you live in. And so what kind of environment do we want to live in? We want to live in a positive environment. And we want other people to come into our home, into a positive environment, or wherever we are, wherever we're sharing, wherever we're connecting. And so just think about, how positive am I? And even, everybody has a disposition. They grow up and they're either the glass is half full type of person, or the glass is half empty. Either way, even if you're the glass is half empty, you can find a way to figure out what am I saying? How do I say that positively instead of, oh, it's a great day out there. Oh my, it's gloomy. But isn't it cool? It's cooler than when the sun is out, Just find a different way to turn it around and look for the positive things. Look at all the gifts that God has given us. Look for all the wonderful blessings that we do have. Looking at what we have versus what we don't have, and focusing on the good stuff.
The good stuff. There's so much of it.
Yeah.
Ready to go to number 4?
I am. Am I doing 4?
I think you're
I'm
doing
doing 4. This is my favorite one. The favorite one y'all can see there is learn something. Learn something new. And the one thing about learning something new is it refreshes those brain cells, right? It gets us all in that moment where we're feeling like more confident. We're feeling like we're thriving. We're feeling accomplished. And I'll tell you, when we were in COVID, right, 2 years ago was right when COVID hit. And that's right when Pepper and I started talking about this podcast. And it was kind of a gloomy time. People weren't connecting, people staying in their homes, people just kind of pulling in and taking care of their own self. But this podcast gave us an outlet throughout COVID to learn something new and to engage our brains. And it doesn't have to be a podcast. It can be anything. Sometimes it's making candles with my sister. Sometimes it's just spending time with someone and letting them show me things that they knew. No. Sometimes it's just reading something new, to learn something new. And I feel like that is the one thing that it's the fast track. We're all about instant gratification these days, right? We're all about we want it and we want it now. If you want the fast track to feeling refreshed and revived, try learning something new.
And I agree. It doesn't have to be anything major. When I think major, we didn't know anything about the podcast business, or we didn't even know how to, we didn't even know how to connect the microphone, y'all. For real. My husband had to say, okay, here's the microphone, this cord goes in here. We sincerely didn't know anything. So it doesn't need to be something highly technical. It doesn't need to be something highly challenging. It can be anything that you say, I don't know how they do that. I want to see and learn how that works. And I love this comment about candle making, because I have had those candles and they are awesome. Y'all have done an outstanding job. So much so, my mom has a candle. I'm going on a tangent. This happens from time to time, and loves your candles. She really does. So that's a plug for more Christmas candles. But the thing that I would say around learning something new, for me specifically right now, I think from time to time I need a little bit of a refresh. Personally, I've been going through quite a bit of upheaval. I've moved my home. We didn't find a home right away. We went into a rental, and now we're finally in our home. And I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted, kind of laid out on the middle of the road. The trucks are rolling over me at this time, and I need a little refresh. And so you heard Miss Jody King when she introduced and said, Pepper wants to learn to garden. That's my learn new things. My mom is teaching me. She's talking to me a little about the size of the pot that you should buy, so you don't have to buy too big or make too big of a hole, or consider this type of soil, or consider this type of plant, drought resistant, etc. I don't know a whole lot about gardening, but now all of a sudden, for whatever reason, I'm ready to garden. I'm like, I can't, today even, when I get home, I'm like, can I just go plant 2 plants? Again, it allows us that opportunity to have a little bit of a refresh. So is it crocheting? Is it knitting? Is it candle making? Go for it. Jump in. We are going to find out. There are probably some special skill sets in this room, and maybe we can learn from each other.
Yeah, we can get there. And that's just that's the aftermath, right? You've learned something, and now the beauty is when you know it well enough, or you have enough information, you have an opportunity to go and share that with someone else. And so I think about the ladies in the back that have their knitting group, or the card group, or the Bible study. There's all kinds of opportunities in your community to get engaged and learn from others, or turn it around and share that gift with others. How do you like that lead-in that I gave you?
That was a pretty good lead-in. If you listen to our podcast, you know we talk about today's show quality transitions, and I would say that was it. She just took us from number 4 to number 5. It happens very, very quickly. But before she transitions, I am going to ask, who in the audience has learned something in the last 30 days? What did you learn? Anybody, by raise of hand. I love it.
My youngest daughter, who's 16, she just taught me how to play Minecraft.
All right.
Woo! Listen,
I give you a lot of credit for that, because my kids try to teach me and I haven't quite gotten the desire. So up in the front, our child is 16. They taught us how to play a computer game. Way to go, Mom. Way to go, Mom. Anybody else learn something new in the last 30 days? In the back.
way in the back.
back.
All right, let's have it.
I was with my sister in Florida, and she was trying to teach me on the computer how to play bridge. And so I'm learning.
Way to go! Way to go! Learning bridge on the computer. I tell you, anytime you can learn something on the computer these days, I just find that incredible. Amy and I are at the same age, and the fact that you have learned to play Minecraft is incredible. Incredible.
Anybody else? One more person? Yeah, go ahead.
Beginning to learn about beekeeping and how to extract the honey. Do you have any bees for getting to that point?
Very good beekeeping. That to me that's another one where I'm like, maybe in a few more years I would learn how to beekeep. I think it's fascinating how to do that. So the 3 of you who answered this question, how are you feeling since learning something new? Good, right? It awakens something internally. It creates some additional brain power. You almost see the world in a different way. Maybe not Minecraft, I'm kidding.
I won't bore you with another Mayo Clinic study, but there is a study about learning and how it really does. It actually, the number one thing that learning does, according to the study, is increase longevity. Increases longevity, right? Who doesn't want to increase their longevity? And so that, I'm just fascinated with that study and how it was all of the other things about your health, about your well-being, and how learning something new really solidifies that. It's incredible.
So we've got less stress today. We have more health, now longevity.
Now longevity.
And for $9.99, folks, after this is over, we'll have some tablets for you. I'm kidding. It's a joke. My mom is looking at me like, you're selling vitamins now? All right, so let's go to 5.
All right, you taking it?
Do you want me to take it?
What are we doing?
Number 5.
Like, we all do this for a living?
We do this for a living, and we are a little bit prepared. Number 5. She talked a little bit about it and said, share our talents, giving back. This, for me, when I think about how I was raised, what my mom and my father taught me, this is one of the pillars of my life. One is education. One is giving back, sharing, doing something for others, helping in some way or some fashion. If it's my own talents that I can share, fantastic. If it's time I can share, I'll try that. If it's dollars that I can do, I'll try that. But in some way or another, finding a way to share what I have, the gifts I have, with others. I have a little story, but I'm going to turn it over to Kim to see what she has to say.
Yeah, it does takes me back to a story too. There was a Christmas that I was spending alone. And I was a little concerned about that, but I was living way up in the Panhandle, and I knew that my work just would not allow me to get home for Christmas and get back. And that Christmas, I went and just started calling around to churches. I know there's got to be churches that have dinners that they provide for other people through the Christmas holidays. And it gave me an opportunity to go and deliver meals to the needy. And I'm going to tell you, that was really, I know that Christmas with family is really special, and it is important to do that, but that was one of the most impactful Christmases I ever had. And I say that the learning something new is a fast track to feeling refreshed and revived, but getting involved, I think, is right up there with learning something new. Getting involved is a fast track to feeling good, to feeling whole, to feeling just better about yourself, and giving back for me was just huge. And so I want to talk, can I talk a little bit about my special my gift? All right. So, I just want you guys to start thinking about, what is your gift? Everybody here, each and every one of us have been given a gift of some sort by God. It's something that probably comes easy to you, or something that you've learned along the way. And for me, my special gift is working with my hands. I love to work with my hands. It doesn't matter if it's gardening, or if it's fixing drywall,
Or tiling, you tile bathrooms.
tile. It doesn't matter. Or, decorating a table. I love working with my hands. And for me, it comes so natural that it doesn't feel like work. I would do it for free, for anyone, because I love doing it so much. And that is where, when you're thinking about, well, I'm not sure if I have a gift, or I don't know what gift I would give, think about what you love to do, that you would do for free. And I guarantee you, there is somewhere in the community, there is somewhere in need, there is a friend somewhere that could really use that gift. And for you, it's going to make you feel good, and for them, they're going to be blessed by whatever it is that you're willing to give.
My gift is teaching. I love to teach. It's my job. It's what I do every day. 9 to 5, I get paid for it. I go to work every day. I get on the freeway in San Antonio. I drive to work and I say, how is it that I get paid to do my job every day? I feel so blessed to have that type of opportunity. And so just this week, I was sitting next to somebody at a luncheon, and this is a person who manages, it's one of our auditoriums in San Antonio. And he and I just started chit-chatting, and what do you do? What do you do? And he says, we really need help with our volunteers. We have 500 volunteers who help us out, and we just need to get them trained. So it's helping them understand, how do you greet guests? How do you send them, here or here? How do you answer whatever questions? And I sat there and I said, call me. I would love to help. He looked at me and he was like, really? And I said, sure, why not? That's easy. I can do that almost in my sleep. I love doing it. So it really is, when, I love Kimberly's comments about, you just never know when that opportunity arises to share your talents and knowing what you love to do, because somebody out there is looking for that. They need that. They need that help, that encouragement or support. So I think we were going to ask them to share their talents. Is that what you're going to do next?
Let's do it.
All right.
I think that would be fun.
I think so too.
Because you're going to be surprised at the gifts at your table, the things that people love to do that they would do for free. And so we want to give you guys another chance. Everybody take their 1 minute and just share, what is that one thing that you love to do and that you would do for free? I have a sister that loves to fold laundry. Who does that? Nobody loves to fold laundry. She loves to fold laundry, and when she comes to visit, she will fold my laundry. So anyway, take your 1 minute, go around the table and share, what is your gift? going to give you one more minute. One more minute. We want to hear it. We want to hear what was the most unique talent that you heard at your table. Somebody speak up. Right over here. All right.
She likes to do laundry.
She likes to do laundry. There you go. Does anybody need their laundry done? Right over here. Right over here. Phoenix can draw people. Anybody need a caricature? Right over here, Phoenix, right up front. Your caricature's right up here.
Birthday party coming up, she'll come and draw.
Priscilla likes to cook. She's like Martha in the kitchen, right? So listen, you know the story about Martha and Mary? Martha's in the kitchen, Mary's over here with Jesus, chit-chatting it up, listening to Jesus. I identify with Mary. I'm like, listen, I don't want to cook. I want to be over here having a conversation. Do not put me in the kitchen. But this lady right here, ready for the kitchen. All right? Another one.
Jody, I saw Jody's hand.
All right, Jody. Welding. What was the second one? Money. Numbers. Welding and numbers. Welding. Anybody need anything built at their house? Right over here. Anybody need an an accountant? Need
I
help
do.
with your taxes? Right over here. Listen, that is how the community comes together. That is how an event like this comes together. Those people that love to work with their hands, you're on deco, right? You can help decorate. Those people that have the gift of gab, like Pepper and I, we're the greeters at the front door. Those that love to cook, right back there in the kitchen. Your gift is something that has been given to you for a purpose, and it comes easy. You'll like to do it. It won't be hard. So look for those opportunities. Look for around the community. Look for a friend. Look for those things, those places where you can go and share your gift or learn what other people's gifts are. Then you can connect people like, oh, hey, I know somebody who welds. You need that tack together? I got somebody for you. That's how connection works.
You know, what if I don't know my gift?
I don't know. It's for me, I'm like, it's that thing that comes easy. Maybe you ask someone. Maybe you ask someone, hey, what do you think my gift is? Because I can look around this room, I know about 11 people here, and I can go, well, I know what your gift is, and your gift, and your gift. That each of you have something, and if you really are unclear, just ask somebody, hey, what do you think I'm good at? I guarantee you they'll come up with something.
I gotta brag on Kimberly. This week we were working on something together, and it was a problem. We had a problem, and it was a challenge, and she pinned to paper right away. It wasn't even a question, just started sketching something out. For me, Kimberly's gift is creativity. She is incredibly creative. I don't know that I've met anybody as creative as she is. But I agree. If you're stuck, wait a minute. What is my talent? Do I just have one? Maybe you have several. Asking, hearing what people are coming to you for, what are they seeking you for, potentially could rise to, hey, I got several gifts, several talents that now you can share amongst each other, again, in your family, your community, etc. All right, we're getting ready to wrap it up. Are we wrapping it up?
Can you close this out?
I think I can close this
You
out.
got this.
All right, so I read a quote this morning. And I loved this quote. It was very much tied in with the conversation today. And the quote is, how we spend our days is how we spend our lives, and that we need to be intentional. So it's thinking about these 5 tips or these 5 insights that you have on your card, and how intentional are you when speaking positively? Or how intentional are you when giving back or sharing with others? How intentional are you at learning something new? I'm hoping somebody, maybe 1 or 2 of you today, are walking away thinking, I might be able to work on number 4. Or, you know what, number 5. I'm going to think about number 5 a little bit. How many, by show of hands, one of the things on the list, you're thinking, I'm going to think a little bit more about that? Awesome. Awesome. That's what this is about. Yeah. So, it is about being intentional. Our hope today is we provided some level of encouragement just to reflect for your refresh.
And I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much to Jody, Kathy, for all of you inviting us here today. This has really been a special time for Pepper and I to be able to share our gift with you. It's made me feel, listen, I was a hot mess this morning, but I feel refreshed, I feel revived. That's part of sharing your gift. It fills you up. We have one more gift for you. And so at your table, there are these cards that we left you. And one card, one special card, is clipped on the corner. Anybody have the one that's clipped on the corner? Looks like this.
Clipped on the corner. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, all
in the
right.
back.
Okay,
Very
you were
good.
wondering, why did I get the gypped one? Why did I get the one that's all messed up over here? Well, we have a special gift for you. Come up here. All right, we have a special gift. We have an extra shot of leadership coffee mug, so you can think about it. We have some coffee, so you can share with friends.
Yeah.
We have a little book. It's a women's book. It's what happens when women say
All right, thanks again. We appreciate your participation. We appreciate you sharing with us your thoughts, your talents, all of the things that you've done this morning. Thank you to each and every one of you for all of your support. I do have to say, both Kim and I, tomorrow is Mother's Day, and I'm so proud and pleased that my mom is here today. Believe it or not, today is probably the first time my mom has seen me do this, which is pretty incredible. So I think both of us want to say to our mothers, Happy Mother's Day. We love you so much. Thank you for all of your encouragement, your support, the encouraging words to say, keep going, stay focused, you got this, all the things that y'all do. Anything you want to say to your mama?
I love you. That woman has made me it's just been there. Listen, you all know we go through life's ups and downs, and our mother is there through thick and thin. Today, I'm texting her on the way over here. I'm a hot mess. The devil was on me this morning since I got up. And so what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to call my mama. I'm going to text her and say, I could use a little prayer today. And that, my mother has been in my court from day one until right here today. And I just wouldn't be able to do things like this without you. I need your prayer and I need your love, and I appreciate and love you so much.
So happy Mother's Day to every single one of you who is a mama. We wish you just the most lovely, relaxing, fun afternoon and day tomorrow. Thanks again to everyone. We appreciate y'all.
It's on. You're hot. It's on.
And we thank you, Kim and Pepper, for that very inspirational speech. I think all of us will leave this room a changed person. And we have gift baskets for you, but they're hidden in the kitchen, so don't leave without them. Yeah, we have a couple of door prizes, a little more than that. One is a packet of the cards that our card ministry makes. And so I'm just going to walk over here and let you draw a name out of this basket. Okay. Phoenix. Phoenix. All righty. And now our second door prize is the prayer shawl done by our knitting group. Priscilla. Now the lovely rose that's in the center of your table, somebody gets to carry on each one of those. Sarah, and just take your draw for me, okay? Oh, Tammy. Tammy.
Oh, that's me. We don't have to do that. Let's do it. That's going to seem like I rigged it. All right.
Charlie Williams got something. And Miriam King gets a rose. This is a lot of fun. Too hard.